So, tell me this. Why is it that the chicks that you want the most don't want you or want you less than the chicks that you don't really like? And the chicks that you don't really like are, the best to you. They treat you the best. They care about you the most. They message you the most. They're the most obsessed with you. They'll do whatever you say. And you would do anything for the girls, the type of chick that you like, to act like them. But the reason why this is because you're giving off, or you're making it too obvious how much you like the girls that you like. Chicks like the chase, right? They like to almost feel like they're below the blokes that they're chasing. And I'm not going to go on some kind of cringe, Andrew Tate podcast type rant about females and how to get them, because you can figure that out for yourself. I think the main point of this is that females are going to be more attracted to someone who doesn't give a fuck and cares more. Not just doesn't give a fuck, but doesn't give a fuck and has other options in terms of not just women, in terms of life path, in terms of location freedom, in terms of where you spend your time. If you're a fucking loser and you work at the local supermarket, she knows for a fact that the only thing that's good in your life is her. And that's a very dangerous place to be, not just in a literal sense, as in, if you lose her, you got nothing, but in terms of her mindset, because now she can take the piss. She can, do whatever the fuck she wants. She can go out clubbing on the weekend when you tell her no. She can do whatever she wants, and that's not a very respectable position to be in as a bloke. Now, this video isn't even meant to be specifically about women, but mainly more the fact that good things such as women will come to people who are completely focused on success. So running that business and, not going to meet that girl, or maybe, you invite her around, she wants you to watch Netflix, you say, no, I'm going to work for a bit and then I'll come to bed. And then you work for fucking hours, keep her waiting. It shows her that you have a higher purpose than her, which means that she almost needs to prove herself, which means that she's going to treat you better. Which is why all the chicks, and this applies to anyone, whether you work at fucking Tesco's, whether you have a business, whatever, the chicks that you don't like, or not don't like, because you probably entertain them, the chicks that you are less interested in are more interested in you. And it's going to be the same. Whether you really like a chick and she really likes you back, if you make it very clear that if she was to leave, you'd be fucked, then you are fucked. Because the moment you do that, that is the moment that you open yourself up, and not only to her, but to your own mind. Because now you're going to be almost simping. Simping, of course, if you're with her. A lot of people say that simping is when you're commenting on chicks' pictures and you fucking subscribe to their OnlyFans, whatever. That's not what simping is. Simping is an uneven exchange of effort, energy, whatever. And that is exactly how simping can happen. There's a switch in your mindset where you think, fuck, I better get her flowers every week, or she's going to leave me. I better take her on holiday, every time I get off work. I better not go out on the weekend and see the blokes. I better quit playing football on Saturdays. to spend more time with her. This is actually very off-putting. I don't care what the woman says, because she will of course say, yeah, that's the most attractive thing that a man can do, blah blah blah. She doesn't mean that, because I think that she believes that. But realistically, put her in that position, and it's a whole different story, and you'll find that out, right? There's a reason I know this. Mistakes have been made, and the thing is that I think that everyone really knows this, or this is nothing new at all. You know, I'm not fucking reinventing the wheel or discovering Newton's law, but I think it's very important to have a focus at every single point in your life. Whether you want a fucking girlfriend or you're really interested in a girl, you shouldn't give her all your energy. It's not the way it works. Whether you really want to get a certain job, you should always, put your effort and focus into yourself. So that, I guess, that could be working towards that job and building up the skills necessary for that. Whatever it is you're doing, right? Trying to make new friends, fucking whatever. You need a sole focus which is based around yourself and your own efforts to build up something that's worth it for you, and then all the power is in your hands. So you then become a lot less likely to be someone who is left by someone else, and if that is to happen, then it won't matter as much anyway. This is why it's so important. You need to build up a foundation, which is what a lot of, I think, modern women are trying to do, is make something for themselves, get a job, get a career, whatever, and have that option, so that when they have the boyfriend or whatever, it's less of a risk for them. However, what they don't really realise is, I don't know about anyone else, but it's not a necessary feature of a female to have a career. Certainly probably last on my list of things that I would look for. And it's funny because it's the opposite when it comes to women, right? They'd look for that first. And I think this is something that women really think that they know, or they really believe that, it doesn't matter, they can make all the money, they can have this career, the man can stay at home and look after the kids. I think they actually believe that, but biology takes over, emotions take over, and attraction is very much a biological factor. You're going to be attracted to, as a woman, the bloke who's providing for you, who's raising the kids correctly, who's the strongest figure that they know, not just physical, emotional as well. If you're a fucking bodybuilder but you go home and cry to your missus, that's also very unattractive. And yeah, it's very, basically the point of this video is to always have a purpose. It doesn't have to be business, doesn't have to be building yourself physically, but to have some sort of thing to fall back on when shit hits the fan, and make that your sole purpose, and never put anything in front of that, means you can't lose. Like you can't, whether you're fighting, whether you're bodybuilding, whether you're chasing a fucking professional football contract, starting a business, putting any of these things first in any situation is what's going to make you not only propel to that faster, but also make you 100% more attractive. Not even just to women. Again, you don't want to be attractive to men in a sexual way, but you want to be attractive in, blokes want to be around you, blokes want to be your friend, blokes want to chat to you. That's that's what you should want. But yeah, hopefully that was enough shit I've chatted. So in a bit.